What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews, and I'm here to take you through the most comprehensive NBA player prop preview for this upcoming two-game slate. If it's your first time checking out the channel, I'll let you know I do this every single day. I share my screen, we go through outlier, I take you through the picks I like, the ones that I don't. I give you all the reasons why, and I do this to give you all the information that you need to make the best bets possible. Now, we had a pretty good day yesterday. The BAP delivered. Now, let me know in the comment section, hashtag BAP if you got on. If you don't know what the BAP is, it's a badass parlay or a bitch ass parlay where I take a lot of the bets that I like, reduce the lines down for safety, and we run it as a parlay. So the BAP cashed. Both of them did, really. We had Tatum for 8 boards, Horford for 6 boards, Tatum 2 3-pointers, Kyrie for 4 rebounds, Luka for 30 points, and James Harden into 6 assists. Sweat free, baby. In terms of our single bets, Jaylen Brown, we cashed his first quarter points. That was pretty easy. And Luka, we got caught on the hook in his points plus rebounds. We did 42.5, and he finished on 42. But hey, back to winning ways. I'll take that each and every day. We got 2 games to preview. I'll share my screen. We'll get into it. And check out the interlude halfway through the video. I've got a pretty cool announcement for you. Let's go. So we're kicking it off with the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Indiana Pacers. We got Pat Bev, Chris Middleton, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Dame Lillard, all game time decisions in this one. Giannis and Dame apparently unlikely to play, but there's still a chance. Tyrese Halliburton, he's questionable. I think it's back spasms. But chances are he might play, but maybe not at his full capacity. So could be a somewhat tough game to cap. The Pacers, 8-point favorites in this game. Total points, you're looking at 212. Before we get into looking at these props, let's have a quick look at how the last game panned out. Quick scan of the box score. Let's get ourselves a bit aroused, and then we'll jump into outlier. So what do we got here? Looking at the Pacers first. Pacers got crushed as favorites, got absolutely destroyed. And having a look at the box score here, there's not too many positives to call out. We had Obi Toppin score 12 points off the bench. He would have cashed his line there. Ben Shepherd smashed his PRA. I know that because I bet on it. Outside of that, everyone else was pretty average. Actually, Andrew Nembhard, he played pretty decent, 12 points and 5 assists. Pascal, shocking, 12 points, 4 boards. Miles Turner, 13 points, 5 rebounds. Tyrese Halliburton, 16 points and 6 assists. So pretty poor effort from the Pacers. Looking at the Milwaukee Bucks real quick, we've got Chris Middleton, fish face, had another excellent game, 29 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. Bobby Portis was a beast, 29 points and 10 boards. Who else do we have here? Malik Beasley had 18 points, 4 rebounds, 4 3-pointers. Patrick Beverley, 13 points, 12 assists, and 4 rebounds. And Pat Connaughton off the bench had 9 points, 4 boards, 4 assists. And Gallinari got some game time, 4 points and 6 boards in 20 minutes. So, look, it might be hard for a lot of these players to replicate that, given the amount of injuries that could be plaguing some of these players. But let's talk about the lines. We'll see what outlier is presenting to us, and then we'll take it from there. I want to start off with the Milwaukee Bucks first. So there are no lines for Dame and Giannis, which leads me to believe that it's highly unlikely that they do suit up. So let's start with the big dog first. We'll go with fish face Chris Middleton. Now, I think it'd be wise probably not to take any bets on this game until the players are confirmed, but I'll preview this and you can keep that in mind when it's closer to game time. You can either jump into this video and check the pinned comment, see what I bet on if you choose to tell me, or you can jump into my Discord. All my picks will be in there as well. Now, Chris Middleton will start with his points prop. Sweet Chris Middleton. His line is at 26.5 points in this game. He's cashed this in 2 out of the last 10 in this series, 2 out of the 5 games. But I think the most notable part, obviously Giannis is not here, but it's the games without Dame we'll probably want to pay the most attention to. So without Dame in this series, there's been 2 games. He scored 25 and 29 points. Did have a 42-point game in there with Dame in the lineup as well. So if we just look at the recent form, really, the last 3 games have been great for Chris Middleton. His minutes have been strong, close to 40 minutes a night. He's taking 29, 22, and 20 shots. So the volume is definitely there. From downtown, 9, 4, and 7 attempts. The main difference maker between the game he did hit and the one he didn't was whether he was able to make 3-pointers or not. And he's also getting to the free throw line extremely well. So very aggressive play here for Chris Middleton. Based on what we're seeing, I can't help but probably lean to the over in this one. Game though, I believe this is a Pacers home game if I'm not wrong. But let me have a look. Yeah, it's a Pacers home game. So Chris Middleton on the road up against the Pacers. Damon Giannis unlikely to play. His last 2 games on the road, he scored 42 and 25 points. So the hostile environment type of bullshit, I don't think that worries Chris Middleton too much. I'd probably lean to the over, but not absolutely loving it too much. Now looking at his assist prop, 5.5. He's gone under that in 3 consecutive games, finishing on 5. Minutes we obviously know about. Potential assists, we're seeing 9, 10, and 7. And look, given those potential assists, I would honestly lean to the under here for Chris Middleton and his assists. Looking at his rebound prop, though, whoa, this is crazy. 9.5 rebounds. And without looking at his form, you'd think this is way too high. But Chris Middleton has covered this rebound prop in 3 consecutive games now. 10, 10, and then 12 in that game, which is pretty wild. He's getting a lot of minutes. Having a quick look at his chances, 17, 18, and 17 rebound chances, which is out of this world. I guess it makes sense. Brook Lopez, he doesn't rebound whatsoever. He just boxes out like a crazy motherfucker. But that means Bobby Portis, Chris Middleton, a lot of opportunity to snake some rebounds. So, yeah, I don't hate the rebound prop here for Chris Middleton. It's been hitting for him quite well. Pacers 8-point favorites, though. That does scare me a little bit. If the Pacers come out and smack these Bucks around, these rebound chances won't be there. But look, given this is what's the series 3-2, Indiana 3-2, the Bucks, they're going to put it all out on the line. I don't feel like this is the type of game where the Bucks get absolutely blown out. They'll be fighting like dogs to get this to a game 7. And then Tyrese Halliburton, if he's not good to go, I think that really pulls this game in. So I think the points plus rebounds for Chris Middleton could be a good play. I'm telling you, wait till Giannis, their status is confirmed, because even if they play 10 to 15 minutes, one of them plays 10 to 15 minutes, that has the ability to really upset Chris Middleton and what he's been doing as of late. So, yeah, points plus rebounds, definitely a lean. Don't mind it. Points or rebounds, I think, are good picks. But, yeah, wait until the lineups are confirmed. Next up, we have Bobby Portis. So, what do we have for sweet Bobby Portis? We'll start with his points prop first. I believe it's at 21.5. Let's get there. Cool. 21.5. So far in this series, he's scored 15, 14, 17, 4. Then in that last game, he scored 29 points. Was a wild man. Second game without Dame. The first game without Dame, he barely played. 7 minutes, got ejected. But that last game, 40 minutes played here for Bobby Portis. So a lot of opportunities, 24 shot attempts, 58% from the field, 1 from 3 from deep, and he didn't even get to the free throw line, which is pretty crazy. But looking at his last 10 games, he honestly doesn't get to the free throw line very much at all. So Bobby Portis over 21.5 points. It's 22.5 now. So the line has moved. But look, minus 119 for 21.5. So you can get it at 21.5 in some places. But I think whether he covers this or not, I think you're both out, or he's going to fall well short. Now, he had a standout game in Game 5. He's all set to reclaim that role, provided no one else is ready to go. Portis, he's capitalized on these numerous opportunities. He's leading the team in shot attempts and usage rate. With Dame and Giannis, they're doubtful for Game 6. The Pacers, favorite by 8 points. The expectations are that, Dame and Giannis aren't going to be there. So I think Portis gets a lot of opportunities, a lot of minutes, high 30s, 35 to 38 minutes at least, and he'll take more than 20 shots in this game. So I think if we look back on the season real quick for Bobby Portis, I want to just filter by his minutes here because we know he's getting a beastly amount. Now, he played 39 minutes, and you can see on the season he hasn't necessarily had too many chances to do that. But if we look at his games where he's played at least 35 minutes, he's had 2 of those just happened to be against Indiana in this series, actually. But there was one game against Utah, and what do we see? In these games, 20, 15, Dame was playing in this game, and then 24 in that most recent game. So, yeah, I think Bobby Portis to get active, put up a lot of shots against a Pacers team that's not very well at defending inside and to his position. I think Bobby Portis points could be a good play. But again, you could either... I don't think this line moves if Giannis and Dame choose... If they don't play, I don't think this line's going to move up any higher. Like, it'll move to 22.5, I think, because people are betting it, but not because the lineup changes. But if Dame or Giannis do play, this line's only going to move down. So I encourage you to wait, but I do like the Bobby Portis look for now. Looking at his rebound prop, 12.5 boards here for Bobby Portis. Now, if we look at the most recent games, we can see In this series so far, 11, 11, 18, 3, and 10. So the rebounds haven't necessarily been there for Bobby Portis. Looking at his rebound chances, what do we see? 14, 17, 31. You're getting this 5 because he only played 7 minutes, but then 15 rebound chances in that last game. So Chris Middleton got more rebound chances than Bobby Portis in that last one. Bobby Portis's line is at 12.5, which is crazy. I don't necessarily love it. He's covered this line at a 5% hit rate this season, and we know he hasn't played many games with this many minutes. So if we want to look at games where Bobby plays at least, let's go 30 minutes. He's going to play high 30s, but in games where he plays at least 30 minutes, 3 out of 16 games for Bobby Portis. That last game, he did play 39 minutes and he only finished with 10. But obviously, Chris Middleton rebounding like an absolute beast. So I don't love the rebound line here for Bobby Portis. He needs a high volume of rebound chances in order to hit it. I think points prop definitely the way to go for Bobby Portis if you choose to bet him. And then who else have we got here? Let's have a quick look at Brook Lopez. We're not going to look at his rebounds and assists because he doesn't do any of that shit. And I'm not brave enough to even consider an under anymore. But let's have a look at this for Brook. Points line 14.5. So far in this series, 11, 22, 14, 27, and 12. So last 2 games were without Dame. Let's take a deeper look at them. So minutes, last 3 is 39, 39, and 31. Looking at his field goals, 12, 13, 18. Only 10 attempted in that last game. He wasn't in foul trouble, just didn't see as many minutes. Didn't shoot well from 3. Could be a potential reason why. But I think this line is pretty much spot on for Brook Lopez. I probably lean to the over for no reason other than the fact that that's just how I feel it's going to go. But I don't have any strong feelings on Brook. We then have someone like Pat Beverly. Now, his lines are going to be all over the place. I couldn't tell you what's going to happen. Yeah, so look at his points. Check out Pat Beverly's points. 9.5 the line. So far this series, 5, 5, 11, 9, and 13. 2 games without Dame, 9 and 13 points. Field goals attempted, still not taking that many. So I wouldn't touch the points prop there. The minutes he's getting, the volume's not there. Assist-wise, though, that last game he had 12 assists. He had 14 potential assists. The game prior, he only had 6 potential assists. Now, Dame didn't play in both of those games. So, yeah, I couldn't take any bets here on Pat Bev. Maybe his rebounds, what's that at? 4.5. And he's gone under in 4 consecutive games. So despite the extra minutes, not rebounding very well. I believe Pat Bev is the primary defender on Tyrese Halliburton. So that could be difficult to get rebounds. Let's have a quick look at Malik Beasley because he got a lot of points in that last game and a couple of rebounds. Let's see what comes up for him. All right, so Outliers pre-filtered this to the highest hit rate, and it's got us looking at his rebounds plus assists. The line's at 5.5. The odds are only at minus 155, but he's gone under in 10 straight, if that's interesting for you. I think if this is one of those prize picks, underdog fantasy, over-under type of bullshit things, then yeah, could be a great play. But let's talk about his points prop. 11.5. His last 2 games. Woo-wee! Both of these games without Dame. I think that's the biggest difference maker that we're seeing here. 20 and 18 points for your boy Malik Beasley. Now, what's happened in those games? Minutes sky high. I don't know if this is a coach's thing or if he's coming back from injury, so I have to research that a little bit more. But Beasley in his last 2 games, 35 and 28 minutes, taking 12 and 11 shots. So the volume is okay. He's been shooting deadly from 3. 4 3-pointers made in both games, 7 and 6 3-point attempts. So covering this line with ease. If you look at how he's gone against Indiana in the past, hasn't necessarily destroyed them in any way, but yeah, I guess no Dame, no Giannis kind of changes things up a lot. So the last 2 games against Indiana are the most that he's had against Indiana in the last year. So I think Malik Beasley points prop could be an interesting one to look at. But once again, wait until lineups are confirmed. I can't stress that enough because, these Bucks are desperate. But the points prop, yeah, it's not too bad. I like the points prop provided Dame and Giannis are out. Rebounds, his line is at 3.5. 4 rebounds in the last game, 3 in the one prior. So 3.5 does seem like an appropriate line. Rebound chances, he did have 8 rebound chances in the last game, but the Pacers offense sucked. I can't guarantee that they suck that bad again. So I wouldn't suggest Malik Beasley boards. And yeah, I guess there's no one else really for me to look at here. So let's look into Tyrese Halliburton now. Tyrese Halliburton has been pretty underwhelming in this playoff series, but I get, part of it he's played with an injury. So his points line in this one is 17.5. Only scored 16 points in that last game. For this series, 9, 12, 18, 24, and then crashing back down to 16. Looking at his minutes, have been quite low in the last 2 games for someone playing in the playoffs. You'd think he'd play more than 40 minutes a night, but that's not happening. His shot attempts, they started off real low. They really increased in the game 3, and they've been declining ever since. Shooting a whole lot of 3-pointers. His last 2 games, shooting at a decent clip, 42 and 40%. Free throws barely getting there at all. So I want to check to see what details we can get on Tyrese Halliburton. So it is back spasms. It's a game time decision on whether he plays. So you can't help but lean to the under initially. But at first thought, I'd probably lean to the under on his points plus assists because I'm curious to see how well he's been hitting those 2 combined. So looking at the numbers here in the series, this is his assist prop 8, 12, 16, 4, and then 6. So assist numbers quite low in the last 2 games, and his potential assist numbers have dropped 13 and 9. So the potential assist definitely fallen off. He is shooting a decent amount, but it's not enough to reduce the volume by this much. We know the minutes are down as well, but yeah, I don't like the assist prop, that's for sure. But I think points plus assists, if we take the under on that, that could be a good play. And that's regardless Dame and Giannis play. Points plus assists here for Tyrese Halliburton. Just on gut feel, I think the under could be a good look. Now, this series, he's gone 17, 24, 34, 28, and then down to 22 in the last game. The line is set at 27.5. Now, he does have a good hit rate against Milwaukee, but 2 out of the last 5, which is the playoffs so far, and it's the back spasm thing that interests me a lot. So you can get minus 102 if you happen to take the under and Tyrese Halliburton points plus assists. So I'm going to add that to my short list, and I'll probably Google Tyrese Halliburton and look at a few articles to see what's going on with his back. Is there a minutes restriction? Like, those news articles can give you a little bit of gold. So yeah, I'll be looking into Tyrese Halliburton there. Who else do we have? Spicy P, Pascal Siakam. Pascal Siakam, his PRA line's 35.5. He's been terrible in his last 3, but let's break down his individual props and we might get back to the PRA. So his points line's down to 22.5. He opened up this series with 36 and 37 points, 3 games since, 17, 13, and 12. Now, the minutes are there for Pascal Siakam. His field goal attempts are dropping, and so is his field goal percentage. So the percentage hasn't been there. And I haven't watched too many of Bucks versus Pacers games to figure out what has changed here. Is somebody else defending him? Is there a scheme, a tactic thing? Or I don't know what's going on with Pascal. But look, the 3-point volume is there as well. So he took 4 3-pointers in the first 2 games of the series, 3 and then another 4 in another 2 games. But the percentages are just awful. His free throw percentage is awful as well. He hasn't shown up on any injury report. So I don't know if he's injured or not, but Pascal Siakam, not playing well right now. And based on that, you can't help but lean to the under, right? So let's have a look at his assist prop. That's at 3.5. That's actually cashed in 3 of the 5 games this series. 2, 6, 4, 7, and 2. Looking at his potential assist numbers, not bad. 6, 8, 8, 7, and 7. How much do we need? 4 assists. Yeah, I'd probably need to see a bigger uplift in the potential assist to take that with any confidence for Pascal. So yeah, I don't like that one either. And then looking at his rebound line, 9.5. Again, similar to his points, he murdered in the first 2 games. He's gone under in the 3 games since, 9, 9, and 4. Looking at his rebound chances. So those first 2 games, 19 and 16 rebound chances. Still had 17 and 6 in the following 2 games. So those chances were there. That last game, only 9 rebound chances. But fair enough, the Bucks blew them out. So I wouldn't put too much stock into that. Rebounds, I'd lean to the under 9.5. If this was maybe a 7.5 to 8.5, I'd probably take the over. He finishes on about 9. I think the previous 2 games before this one are probably an accurate representation of what to expect from Pascal. So given that, I think if we look at whole PRA, I'd probably lean to the under, but the main reason is the points. So under 22.5 points for Pascal Siakam seems like a pretty decent play for me. I don't want to put myself through the stress of taking it under, but just sharing with you all what I'm thinking, what I'm leaning, and the reasons why. So that's an interesting one there for Pascal. I want to look at quite a few of these paces, actually. Let's go Miles Turner, and then we'll get with the players. So Miles Turner's had a pretty decent series. He was shit in the last game, and I know that for sure because I bet on him. But what I've found, and I think Jedi Modai, he's has some very similar thoughts. You do all this research, you make a bet on a player, and then it doesn't cash. And then the very next game, that exact line that you need gets covered. Like, it's crazy how much you can read into it, and then it doesn't deliver the way it should. And then the very next game, it just happens to. Like, if I could go back and just look at all the games and the bets that I've lost, if I had run that exact same bet back, how many times would I have won? It might be a good exercise for me to do, actually. It'd be interesting. So, Miles Turner. Anyway, his points prop 20.5. So I took the over points and rebounds in the last game. He only scored 13 points and they got dusted up. Prior to that, though, he was doing quite well. 22, 29, and 29 points for Miles Turner. The minutes were low in that last game. He wasn't effective when he was there anyway. His percentage was good, just didn't get enough shots. So prior to that, though, the 4 games, the volume was great. 17, 15, 21, and 17 attempts. 3-pointers. The attempts were definitely there as well. And he got to the free throw line somewhat. So, yeah, I wouldn't put too much stock into what happened in the last game. The Pacers will be better in this one, I'm sure. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I think they will be better and more competitive. Yeah, I'd probably lean to the over for Miles Turner over 20.5 points. But if I think about maybe his rebounds, we could look at the under, because his rebound line keeps sitting at 8.5. And I've never felt comfortable with it at 8.5. Even though he's covered it twice out of the 5 games, I haven't liked what I've seen. So line at 8.5. He's gone 8, 7, 9, 9, and 5. Having a look at his rebound chances, only 13, 13, 15, 11, and 8. So his rebound chances are low. Like, yeah, but let's look at his last 5. So over his last 5 games, which is all the games in this series, he's averaging 12 rebound chances per game. Now, getting a chance to get 12 rebounds, and he needs to get 9 of them, meaning if 4 rebounds don't go his way out of the 12 that he has an opportunity to get, then he's going under. And this is why I probably lean to the under for his rebounds prop. He's averaging 7.6 rebounds a night. So yeah, last game 5 boards, but again, the Bucks were on fire, so fair enough. He is at home, but at home, slight improvement in his rebounding, I'd say. But yeah, I probably lean to the under here for his rebound prop. But again, that's not something I want to bet. That feels like an awful bank. I think I'll be clenching. Next up, we got Obi Toppin. Now, I just want to talk about his points, his rebounds, inconsistent as hell. But the points seem like the best way to go for Obi Toppin. Now, the line's at 8.5. Check Obi out in this series: 4, 9, 15, 13, and 12 points. So he's covered this in 4 consecutive games. You can see here the minutes, between 15 and 20 minutes a night. Looking at his attempts, though, let me look at his last 5. His attempts, 8.8 attempts per game over the last 5. You can see he's taking 4.4 3-pointers, so half of his shots are from downtown. And he's had a game where he got to the free throw line as well. So this line has been moving up. And at 8.5, I still don't feel like it's such a bad play. A lot of times, Obi Toppin can get this in the 1 quarter in his first stint, because his shots, like, he takes every 2 minutes, basically, from when he's on the court. So the Obi Toppin points prop, I feel like that could be a decent play. I don't hate that, is what I'm saying. So I'll add this to my short list, and I'll investigate that a little bit further later on. But let's have a quick look at his rebounds play. I don't like it, but let's look at it anyway. So 5's the line. And you know why I don't like it? Because this game where he finished on 2, I bet on it. But it's actually not a bad one. So it's cash in 4 out of the 5 games this series, his rebound prop. 4.5 rebounds you can get for plus money, plus 126 as well. Looking at his chances, though. So we need 5 boards for Toppin. He's getting 8 rebound chances per game, which is not very high. But he has cashed this in 7 rebound chances to get 5 boards, 11 to get 8, 7 to get 6, 5, and he had 2, and then 10 rebound chances in the last game, and he finished with 6 boards. So, yeah, his rebound rate is actually not too bad, given that, he probably plays half the amount of time that someone like Miles Turner plays, and he's contributing like 75% of the rebound effort there. So, yeah, Obi Toppin rebounds, probably not a bad play. You could look at Obi Toppin points plus rebounds, actually. That could be the wave. Let's check that out. Points plus rebounds for Obi Toppin, 13.5's the line, minus 105, and he's cashed that in 4 straight games. So, obviously, he's cashed that points line in all 4 games, but given his points totals, he's done so well. That actually took him over the game where he didn't rebound so well. So I think points plus rebounds could be a good play. Look, there could be a world where he only scores 8 points, 7 points, but he clears the glass as well. So yeah, Obi Toppin points plus rebounds, not a bad look there. I'll be checking that out for sure. What else do we see? Obi's not a bad look, but that's only if you like recent form, right? I want to have a quick look at Ben Shepherd, purely because I bet on his PRA last time. The line is still the same. It's at 7.5. The odds have moved slightly, minus 115. Now check that out. So far in this series, Ben Shepherd has covered this PRA in 5 consecutive games. What I do like, we're seeing a somewhat upwards trend. His games are quite consistent. We see in the minutes, averaging 17.6 minutes per game. That last game, he got 25 minutes, 7 points, 4 boards, killing his 7.5 PRA with ease. Yeah, look, I think at the least, what could we expect him to see? Maybe 10 to 15 minutes, but I think things are trending upwards. He hasn't been too bad. Looking at his rebound chances, he got pretty consistent rebound chances and opportunities in every game, so I don't hate that. Potential assists, he out there, but he actually this game here he got some assists. So yeah, I think the PRA, not a bad look for Ben Shepherd. Now I don't know how he plays. I haven't watched this guy on the court at all, but what I do know is that the line's been hitting at a consistent rate. And look, if Tyrese is probably not good to go, there's a bit of opportunity in that backcourt, so that could mean more time for Ben Shepherd. Probably a better defender than some of the other guards they have on their roster. So Ben Shepherd, I think it's a good look. Man, it's, paid my bills before. Hopefully it continues to pay. Who else do we have? We've got Andrew Nembhard. Now, he's been quietly good, Andrew Nembhard, sneakily. So let's check out his prop real quick. Close to hitting 30 minutes already on the first game. I've done it again. His points line, 11.5. Yeah, I wasn't wrong. He's cashed this in 4 straight games, Nembhard. 20, 16, 15, and 12. Minutes are there. Field goal opportunities are consistent. 11, 10, 9, and 12. Shooting 47% from deep. Not getting to the free throw line too much at all. So he is trending downwards, though. But the 50% from the field, he didn't make any 3-pointers in that last game. Looking at the home games. So these are the 2 home games for Indiana. Nembhard had 16 and 15 points in that game, and he shot the ball from deep very well, 50% and 75%. So Nembhard's points, that looks okay. I want to have a quick look at his 3-point line to see what that is. 1.5, minus 110. So he's only cleared this in the 2 home games. Volume, 6 and 4, 3.4 attempts on average. I don't know if I could take that, but I think the points one, probably not a bad look for Nembhard. Could look into that one a little bit further. Let's see where I go. One thing I'm also going to do is when I share my picks, I'll also put the leans that I have, just in case you're interested in researching them a little bit further. I think someone asked me today, where do I post my leans? And I was like, oh, I don't, but I definitely can if that's going to be helpful for you guys. So I'll post the leans. Don't even track them, right? Because sometimes I think my leans would have killed it if I bet them. But anyway, I'm rambling. Assists, 4.5's the line. He's cashed this in his last 2, 9 and 5 assists. What I'm most interested in these potentials. He's averaging 9 potential assists per game. So this one here with 15 potential assists blows the average out. But most games, 8 potential assists is not good enough for me to take him to get 5 actual assists. So I'll have to pass on that. And looking at his rebounds, 3.5, he's cashing 2 out of the 5 games. So I don't love that either. So I think the points prop for Nembhard, that could be a good one to consider. And then we have Naismith Jr. Now, I haven't really looked at this guy's line much at all because if I ever look at him, I'm looking at the under. Not a big fan of playing unders, I must tell you. So points-wise, in his last 5, 12.5, he's hit 2 of his last 5 games. The field goals aren't great. What about the rebound stuff? 4.5. He used to be a lock to go under this guy, but yeah, 2 out of the 5 he's gone over. So Naismith, I regret looking at you, my boy. But yeah, I've pretty much almost gone through every single player I think is worth looking at here. So let's get ready to jump into the next game. Pumping the brakes real quick. I did say I had a few announcements to make. Now, in the last video, I did speak about me having to go out there and look for more value and ways to really support you guys for all your betting needs. And look, I know over these playoffs, I have been producing as much winning bets as I would like to, right? It has been difficult. I've noticed a lot of people are finding it difficult, but probably none more than me. I'm, struggling a lot of the time. Things are starting to turn, and you guys have been appreciating the content. But at the end of the day, the bets haven't been landing the way that I want them to. So a little fun fact about me, I guess how I came to get better at betting is one thing I've been doing over the last 2 years is I've been paying for paid services. I, pay for picks, join discords, all these different Telegram groups, whatever. And I join them I don't take people's picks if that's where you think this is going. I don't take them, market them as my own. I really join a lot of these professional cappers or whatever it is just to see what the style is, what the technique is, and see what I can learn. So it's a big part of learning how people get to their final picks. And, I've been investigating other tools and other places and how people put picks together to get better at it myself. So then I can help you. And what I've been doing more recently, I've been playing around with some other tools. So there's two tools I want to share with you. These are paid. Let's not muck around here. And I did reach out to them to see if I could get some sort of discount or affiliate or partnership happening so I could share it with you guys. And unless I was able to give you some sort of value, I wouldn't be sharing it. So there's two that I want to share with you today. So the very first one is something called Player Prop Shop. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it. I'll put some visuals up on the screen so you can see it. But Player Prop Shop, they basically write up picks. They give you reasons for picks every single day on a range of different sports. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you today is because I've been tracking their performance of the picks that they've been giving out. I'll put it up on the screen, but one thing that's pretty cool about them is they not only give you the pick that they like, they give you a more detailed explanation as to why. So you can then review this every single day to take a look to see, does this research align with the research that you've done, right? By reading the research they do, you can get a guide of how they look into the picks, and you can follow a similar process when you use Outlier or whatever other tools you want to use. Or if you're poor with time and you don't have time to do research, or my research may not have been good enough for you, you can simply go on there and read that and make that your research and determine from the picks that they lay out which one of them is good for you. Now, I reviewed the most recent day of their performance. I put it up on the screen here, and they had a monster day, a real profitable day. They cashed on a whole lot of winners. So that's why I wanted to share it with you today, to say there's a good opportunity with them. You can get the first week free if you do happen to sign up with them. I will have a link for that in the video description below. Now, the other tool I did want to talk you guys through, and this is very specific for you guys in the US. It's not the most useful tool for me, given that I'm in Australia, but it's something that I still play around with anyway to just try to get an edge, right? And I'll share it with you. It's called DGF. It's Daily Grind Fantasy. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably have come across this. If not, this may be your first time, and here you go. So Daily Grind Fantasy is awesome if you've got a lot of these apps: Prize Picks, Underdog, Parlay Play, Better Picks, Boom Fantasy, Dabble, right? All those types of bets. Sports books. This type of tool is pretty awesome for that, because it gives you the highest, it sorts all the games out by the highest odds and opportunity and chance to hit. Now, with this, what it does is it compares all the lines from sharp sports books, knowing that, let's say the Prize Picks, all their odds at like -20, regardless if the true odds are -140, they'll give it to you 120, which makes it a plus EV play. If you're short on time, you can use something like Daily Grind Fantasy, jump into this tool, muck around with it, find the plays that you like. You might even want to use Outlier at the same time, do your own research. So not only are you getting a plus EV play, but then you're also doing your own research to validate it. Who knows? You might want to use all these tools at the same time. But I think it's a really interesting tool. The team that they have is great. I've been communicating them with a little bit this week, and they seem like really great people. So I encourage you guys to check that out. So for this particular one, I've got a discount code as well. It's I think it's 25% off. If you jump into it, you use the code Daft, but instructions for that are in the video description below. So yeah, two shameless plugs. I'm not afraid to say it. If you do use either of these places, I do get a minor kickback. As you know, I spend about 3 to 4 hours a day doing these types of videos. I've only got about 6,500 subscribers. So you can imagine the amount of money I make off YouTube is minimal. So, I do get a little kickback if you do happen to use them. If not, I'm easy breezy, baby. You also got Outlier, 7-day free trial. I get a small kickback for that. But for, the things that make me happy is creating content, interacting with you guys, and then hitting some bets. So let's get back into this preview. I think this next game, probably a little bit more exciting to preview than this Pacers versus Bucks one. Let's go. So it's Knicks versus 76ers in this one. Before we get into all the different player props, Let's do a quick review of the last game, which is crazy. Went into OT. This is probably one of the best series I've seen in quite some time. But let's review the box score real quick from that last game. Starting with the Philadelphia 76ers. We saw Tobias Harris actually do something. 19 points, obliterated his line, 8 rebounds, covered that as well. Kelly Oubre, 14 points, the most he's scored on the road for quite some time. Joel Embiid struggled, 19 points, but he did have 16 rebounds and 10 assists. He almost got a quadruple double with 9 turnovers. Kyle Lowry, he was ass, 26 minutes, barely did anything. Did cover his assist line though. Tyrese Maxey, a beast, 46 points, 5 rebounds, and 9 assists. We had Nick Batum off the bench, another 33 minutes, and he covered his rebound prop again with 8 boards. Early spoiler, I'm going to be taking his rebound bet. I'm sick of having it as a lean and then not taking it. And then if we get into the New York Knicks, what do we have? OG Anunoby, 17 points and 6 boards. We had Josh Hart, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and 18 points. We had Brunson, another 40 piece, 40 points, 6 assists, and 3 rebounds. We then saw Dante DiVincenzo struggle. Mitchell Robinson, 7 boards. Miles McBride. So that's a very interesting one. I think that's going to be a popular pick from a lot of players. I mean, a lot of bettors. He had 14 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists off the bench, but he played 33 minutes. So that's the most exciting part for me. Stealing minutes from Dante DiVincenzo still. So, yeah, quite interesting. So let's get into previewing this game and see what we can find. So having a look at the lineups real quick. We've got Joel Embiid's a game time decision, but he won't miss it. Mitch Robinson's a game time decision as well. Philadelphia at home, 3-point favorites in this game, a chance to even up the series and force a game 7. So exciting times. Looks like this is going to be a great game. Total points projected for 198, which is, if you didn't know, low scoring. So points props might be a difficult one, might be one that you want to avoid, but I ain't a pussy. Let's do it. Let's dive in. So let's start off with some of these boys from the Knicks real quick. Where is Jalen Brunson? We'll start right here. So Jalen Brunson's been a tough man to bet on this series. His lines are super high, and rightly so. He's been active as hell, but let's talk about it. This is what he's done this series: 22, 24, 39, 47, and 40. Last 3 games, scoring like an absolute beast. His line in this game, 33.5. It's plus money. Now, on the road is when he started scoring 39 and 47 points in his last 2 games in Philly. Looking at his field goal attempts, averaging 30 shots per game so far in this series, 42% from the field. So his last 3 games, the main difference, he's not shooting the ball that much more times. He's just shooting it at a much better clip. His 3-point percentage, not looking great. The attempts are lifting though. On the way up, percentages are not terrific, and he's obviously getting to the line a lot. Now, I'm not brave enough to bet the under, to be honest, but I don't know if I've got the balls to bet the over, but it just makes so much sense. 33.5 points. He's taking 30 shots. He gets to the free throw. He makes 7 free throws a game. Like, it just makes too much sense to bet the over at these odds. So I'm going to put that on my list of leans because it's just too good to ignore. I do understand that 33.5 points is a lot of points. But Brunson, the volume is definitely going to be there. And put it this way, if the 76ers could slow Brunson down, they would have done it already. There's no injury cloud. So, yeah, I don't mind that whatsoever. Looking at his assists, though, 7.5. He's cashed this only in 2 of the 5 games this series. The 2 games where he did cash it, though, were both of the games in Philly. 13 and 10 assists in both of those games. Let's talk about it. Potential assists, 14 as an average in the 5-game series, 12, 12, 18, 13, and 15. So the 2 games in Philly, not necessarily a massive uplift, but an uplift nonetheless in his potential assist volumes. Given the fact that he's gone under 3 times, I don't love the assist prop, but the 2 games where he's gone over in Philly might be something I can fuck around with. But I think a combination of points plus assists could be a good play here, 41.5. So he's smashed that in his last 3. And obviously a lot of that is driven by his points prop, but you can absolutely smoke this sweat-free like he did in his last 2 games against Philly, because he scored 39 and 47 points. He might be able to cover the points plus assist prop on its own. But if there is a world, there might be a world where Jalen Brunson, only scores 30 points. But if he's only scoring 30 points in this game, you best believe he's getting a lot of assists. So I think maybe the points plus assists could be a good pivot. That's just where my mind goes. So we'll see. I'll research that. And then quick look at his rebounds. 4.5's the line. First 2 games, he was great. Last 3, he's been average as fuck. So, not playing that for Jalen Brunson. What else have we got? OG Anunoby. So, OG's been getting after it. Played 50 minutes in that last game. Let's take a look at it. Points 14.5 points for OG. He's gone over in 3 straight games now after starting the series off quite slow. His minutes steadily increasing, started at 31, made its way up to 50. He's definitely getting a lot more game time. Field goal attempts, not necessarily increasing at the same rate as his minutes, but his percentage is high. From 3-point land, somewhat inconsistent, and might get a few free throws. So, yeah, I'm not overly keen on the 14.5 points here for OG, just given the volume of shots. That's not there for me. But his rebound could be an interesting one. He had one big rebounding game where he had 14. Prior to that, he was slow. Line at 5.5, though. Even though he got 6 in that last game, he played 50 minutes to get 6 rebounds. I'm not loving that for OG, so I'm going to have to take a pass on OG, unfortunately. Who else do we have? We've got Josh Hart. Now, shout out to, was it Hannah? He's in my Discord, probably in many Discords, but my man gets his analysis done real quick. As soon as the game finishes, he's already sharing insights on the next set of games, which happens the day after. Now, his analysis here on Josh Hart is that Josh Hart has been spending more time defending Tyrese Maxey. Previously, I think OG spent a lot of time. Josh Hart's been picking up Tyrese Maxey more, meaning less opportunities for him to get some rebounds. So that's why we're seeing less rebounds for Josh Hart, but let's see what the numbers look like. First thing when it comes to his points. 14.5, he's covered in 4 out of his last 5 games in this series, averaging 17 points per game. Minutes, you never got to worry about minutes for Josh Hart. It's the field goals what you got to think about. Pretty much, it's a direct correlation on whether he's going to take shots because his percentage is very consistent for Josh Hart. The game he went under, he only took 7 shots. In all the other games, shot the hell out of that rock. When it comes to his three-pointers, had a great first 3 games in this series, so I wouldn't feel comfortable taking the bet on his three-pointers at the moment. But the points prop, yeah, I don't hate it, but I think the other one's out there. I don't feel too confident in that. Let's have a look at his rebounds. So his rebound line is still at 11.5. Crazy. 3 out of the 5 games, averaging 12 boards per game. Rebound chances, 20 rebound chances on average against Philly. 18 in the last game and only had 9 boards and played 50 minutes. So, yeah, I'm not really like rebounds play here for Josh Hart. A lot of potential and upside, of course, but I'm not comfortable enough to bet it. And looking at his assists, averaging 4 assists in this series, lines at 4.5. He did cover his assist prop in both games in Philly, though, so that's quite interesting. Potential assists, 8.6 potential assists as an average, and he's only getting 4 potential assists from it. So you'd probably need at least 10 to 11 potential assists for him to cash this, and I don't love that either. So I'd probably consider looking at an under 16.5 rebounds plus assists. That's cashed in 3 out of the 5 games. Even in the first game, we had 13 boards. He only had 2 assists. So I'm not loving the rebounds or the assist prop. This is just a lean. I'm not going to bet it, but sharing it for all of you guys. So there's Josh Hart. What other Knicks are there? We've got Miles McBride. Now, that's what I'm talking about here. Sweet Miles. Now, he's getting a lot more minutes here. Better defender than Dante DiVincenzo. So, especially down late in the fourth, he's getting a lot of run. So we can see in this series, he's covered this line 3 out of 5 games, averaging 13 points a game. His point line's at 9.5. Looking at his minutes are on the way up. 28 in the first game. And keeping in mind, he only got a lot of minutes in that first game because he was on fire. Since then, minutes came back down to 20, but they have been increasing since. There was overtime in this last game, so really keep that in mind. I'd probably project him into the high 20s, probably 28 to 30 minutes for Miles McBride. Field goal attempts, not the greatest, 9.6 field goal attempts, but he is shooting 50% from the field, 46% from deep on 5 attempts. So half of his shots are coming from downtown. The 2 games in Philly, he made 2 and 3 3-pointers. So the 3-point play could be an option here, depending on what his line and odds are. Let's check that out. 1.5 minus 119. So I don't mind that for Miles McBride. I actually don't mind his points prop either. Last game, he took 7 shots and he made 2. The 2 road games against Philly, 4 and 5 attempts. He's shooting 46%, right? So pretty much if he gets 5, we're good. If he takes 4, we're relying on some good shot percentages, but the volume could be higher. So I probably lean with a points prop, I probably feel a little bit more comfortable taking the points. He needs 10 buckets. chances are he makes 2 3-pointers. That's 6 for you. So he'll take another 4 or 5 shots outside of that. So Miles McBride points could be something we get around. Let me add that to my list. Then we have his assist prop. That's at 1.5. It's cash in 3 out of 5 games. Potential assists, a bit how you going. 5 potential assists in the last game is great, but not necessarily his role on this team. And rebounds, 1.5 is the line. He's cashed this in 4 out of 5 games. Last few games, rebounding like a beast. Rebound chances, not extremely high, but he's been getting them. So, yeah, the rebound play for Miles McBride, minus 119 for him to get 2 rebounds. Could be a bit of a clinch, but I think the way that I'm thinking of playing this is looking at points plus rebounds, minus 111, because that's cash in 3 out of 5 games as well. 15.8 as an average. So his points as an average, well, let's do the math here. He's averaging 13 points and we need him to score 10. So you got a 3-point buffer based on his average. Points plus rebounds, he's getting almost 16 and we need 12. So now you get a 4-point plus rebound buffer for Miles McBride. I might go with the numbers here. I might just take points plus rebounds. But if that's not available to you and you do choose to have tail, points would be the pivot for me. But I don't mind what I'm seeing here for Miles McBride. We then have, do you want to look at Dante DiVincenzo? Because I don't really want to, but let's have a quick look at his points prop. Dante, because his minutes are on the decline, and the only way he gets more minutes, I think, is if he shoots the lights out. So his line's at 11.5. He's gone under and now, and the minutes are going down with it. So looking at his attempts, still taking shots, though. That's the thing. Taking the same amount of shots almost every game this series. He's just not shooting very well at all. On the road, I don't know if I could trust him. So Dante, sorry, my boy. Got Hartenstein. I'm not too keen on betting on him because he's been ass lately. Let's get into these Philadelphia 76ers. I want to start with Nick Batum because I already know I'm betting on you, and this is what I'm betting on. It's his rebounds, 4.5 boards, minus 111, and you can see in this series 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's the stairway to heaven, baby. Nicholas Batum is rising up. Minutes somewhat consistent between 20 to 33 minutes. Rebound chances, those are increasing as well. But last 4 games, 11, 9, 10, and 13 rebound chances. And my man Hannah from the Discord, he pretty much looks into it. He checks film, and he's like, a lot of Nicholas Batum's rebounds are tap backs. Can't actually grab the rebound, but he's tapping it to another player on his team, and he's getting credited for the board. So the total at 198, low scoring game, gritty defense, hustling for boards. Nicholas Batum going to be tapping the shit all over the place. He's going to think he's playing in the US Open, serving it up, just tapping away. So Nicholas Batum over in boards. I'm already on that as a single bet. I might even consider looking at a ladder. Who knows? Take Nicholas Batum for 5, 6, 7, 8, or maybe just 5 and 7, to be honest. But we'll see what the odds look like. Actually, I can do that right now. I'm using Outlier. Duh. If we look at Batum for 7 board, plus 295. So that's not too bad to do what he did in the last game, plus 550. But the last one, OT, right? So but I think the 7 could be a good stretch, plus 295. Maybe put half a unit on it. But that's Nick Batum's rebounds. I don't know if there's anything in his points that interests me. Nope. Points a bit, how you going? And assists are even worse. So, yeah, Batum boards. Let's get around it, boys. Who else do we have? We've got Jojo Embiid. All right, so Joel, his points line 30.5. It's dropped. So far this series, he's covered this line twice. Last 2 games have been poor from his standards. He's getting a lot of minutes, but he's been quite inefficient in these games. He's taken a lot of threes in these last 2 that he can't seem to hit. Free throws, yeah, he's getting there. Last game didn't get to the line too much. Like, the guy's playing on one knee. I don't know if he continues to keep doing it, but I worry he's going to get injured in every single game. So the points prop, honestly, I'd lean to the under in this one, but I wouldn't take that bet. That's just the way I think it's going to go, though. His assist prop is still at 5.5. It was at 5.5 in the last game, but now the odds are at minus 150. So I wouldn't take it at 6.5, but at minus 150 for 5.5, I wouldn't take that at all. But if that is something on like Prize Picks, Sleeper, Chalkboard, one of those types of apps where you just got to pick over under and you get the same odds regardless, yeah, Joel Embiid assists is a good look. And then his rebound line's at 10.5. He had 16 boards in the last game. Prior to that, he ain't getting many rebounds at all. Less than 10 boards in 4 straight games. That last game, he had 16. So, yeah, I'm not feeling Joel Embiid, if I'm being honest with you. I'm not feeling like taking any bets, overs or unders on him. let's get up to Tyraxi. And I remember I did say that in a previous video, and I like the sound of that. Tyraxi was a beast in that last game. And if you're not watching the video and you're just listening to me, I'm talking about Tyrese Maxey. He was a beast. So just check this out. His points line is at 26.5. So far in this series, he's cashed in 3 out of the 5 games. The concern that I have, the 2 games he went under in this series were both games played in New York. I mean, at home, sorry, against New York. Both of the home games for Tyrese Maxey, he went under his points prop line. Now let's dive in a little bit deeper. Minutes, you don't have to worry about. Shot attempts are great. 20 plus shot attempts in all the games so far this series. Almost 10 3-pointers attempted. The only difference that I'm seeing here is the 2 games that he's played at home, the shot percentage hasn't been there. Now, I would not bet the under for Tyrese Maxey. No. I would bet the over. And I'll probably lean now, just given how fucking hobbled Joel Embiid is. My man is dying out there. So you'd have to think Tyrese Maxey would have to lift. But given this is a home game, I personally have a feeling, and this is just a gut feel from a casual sports bettor and a basketball fan, the other players from Philly are going to step up. We might see Kyle Lowry get buckets, Tobias Harris, and maybe even someone like Kelly Oubre. So Tyraxi just scored 46. Surely the Knicks have a plan in place to slow him down somewhat. I'd lean to the over, but I'm not going to be betting it. Looking at his assist prop, though, 6.5. He's cashed this in 3 out of the 5 games this series. 7.2 is an average. He's getting 11.8 potential assists. How much do we need? We need 7 assists in this game. And the potential assists, probably not as high as I would like them to be. The 2 home games, 9 and 12 potential assists. So, yeah, I think he probably gets close. But, yeah, I don't feel too confident betting that either. Quick look at his rebound line, 4.5. 3 out of the 5 games. 1 out of the 2 games at home. Rebound chances, 9.2 rebound chances to get 5 boards. It is plus money, though. So, yeah, I don't hate that. I think that's a fairly decent play at those odds. But it might be a little bit sweaty because I probably see him getting 5 or 6 max. So, yeah, Tyrese, I think he plays a good game. I'm just not willing to bet on him. Now, let's get into some of these role players and see if we can find some value in one of these motherfuckers to pop off. Now, I know a lot of you guys don't like Tobias Harris. And if you did not know, I don't like him either. But if my man's going to put food on the table for me, I've got to take a look. His first quarter points, crazy. 8 out of his last 10. I'm not betting it. No. But let's look at his. Actually, it's plus money. Let's have a look at this. He's 3.5. It's plus 120. 8 of his last 10 games. In this series, he's hit in his last 3 consecutive games. So the minute the games went back to Philly, Tobias Harris has been a menace in the first quarter. His minutes are decent. I don't hate this. He just needs to get 2 buckets. And with the amount of tension Tyrese and Joel Embiid are going to be getting, Tobias Harris, who plays 75% of the first quarter, he could get some looks here. So I'll look into that. I'm going to look at his attempts, look at some video to see how he's scoring these buckets. Now, his points prop, that's at 12.5. That's also plus money. He's cashed this once in the 5 games, 19 points in that last one. Did play almost 50 minutes. He still took the same number of bullshit shots he normally does, only 11. So I do not like this play. I think him shooting 64% is a massive outlier. I don't expect that again. So we're not touching him. Assists, 1.5. Not liking that. Rebounds, 7.5 boards at plus money. Now, I've taken this bet twice in this series. Cash for me once, shit the bet in the other, which is this game here. But 7.5 for plus money. 4 out of 5 games he's hit. Rebound chances, 13.2. And the ceiling's not very high. 16 rebound chances to get 8 boards. Like, that's the max he's gotten. I don't love it. I think he gets close. Maybe for the bitch-ass parlays, we might take him for 6 boards. I could entertain that, that's for sure. But I don't know if I could take him for 8. No. So Tobias Harris, no. What else have we got? Kyle Lowry. Now, he was very disappointing in that last game. And one great thing about players being disappointing in one game, fucking bounce backs, baby. So let's take a look. Kyle Lowry, 7.5 points. He's cashed that in 3 out of the 5 games. Started this series off with all greens, has slowly dwindled down. His minutes going down, field goal attempts going down. So we're not looking at his points prop because I don't like that. Assists, though. He cashed his assist line in the last game. I believe Josh from Lanyard Bets, he nailed that bet. I took the rebounds, he took the assist cash, rebound, not close. Now, the assist prop, upward trend. 3 out of the last 5 so far in this series. Looking at his potential assists, averaging 7, 4 assists. I don't love this. Got to tell you. But the 2 home games that he's had so far in the series, he did have 4 and 7 assists, young Kyle Lowry. So, yeah, it's not so bad. But crazy, he got 4 assists on 4 potential assists in one of these games. So, if that's the range of what he could potentially produce, I don't love that. His line for rebounds is 2.5, so that's dropped. And he's been somewhat inconsistent in this area. His rebound, and this is the thing, his ceiling for rebound chances is crazy. 14 rebound chances, but he could get down to as low as 5. So I'm not touching Kyle Lowry in this game, but if he fucking gets close to a triple-double or something, I'm going to be pissed. So Kyle Lowry's not my guy. I'm hoping that we can find something sickening here with Kelly Oubre. Let's take a look at sweet Kelly Oubre. He's got some of the nicest eyes in the league. Now, his points prop 12.5. Let's go. 3 out of his last 5 games. 3 consecutive games. Sweet Kelly Oubre has covered this line. And I forgot who it was, but the minute Kelly Oubre came back home to Philly in this series, my man erupted because he was shit in those first 2 games. Philly game started, cashed his line in 3 straight games. Minutes are looking great. Field goal attempts. Last 2 games, they've been pretty good, 15 and 13. And in those last 2 games, we've seen Joel Embiid start to slow down a little bit. And in those games, Kelly Oubre has been the one stepping it up. So I do like the volume in the last 2 games. 3-pointers, it's a bit hit and miss, but just the volume is good. 15 and 13, even if he's taking 12 shots. If Kelly Oubre takes 12 shots and we need him to cover 12.5, I think that's still a good play. I think he takes more than 12 shots, but I'm just saying, I don't mind Kelly Oubre's points in this one. So I'm going to add that one to my short list. Let's go, Kelly. And I hope I'm not wrong. I really do hope Joel Embiid doesn't score another 50-piece here because that's going to cook a lot of things. The other play, his rebounds, 4.5's the line. He's cashing one of his last 5, though. So the rebound opportunities, they're there. 10 rebound chances per game, but he's only averaging 3.8. So I don't like that. I'm probably getting out-hustled. He's there, but maybe some Josh Hart action. Get him a man's way. This is his assists. I'm not overly keen on Kelly Oubre's assists. But Kelly Oubre's points, that could be interesting. Tobias Harris in the first quarter could be interesting, so I'll dive further into that. Batum ain't scoring. All right, we've pretty much capped the shit out of this game. And look, y'all, I hope you guys have been practicing a little bit of bankroll management because, yeah, slow start to the playoffs, but I am slowly starting to feel a bit confident. We've had a couple winning days in a row. The BAP cash, so put in hashtag BAP in the comments section if you're going to be riding with me again. I'll put a same game parlay for each of these, roll them together for a BAP. I reckon that's going to be fun. If you do want to support the channel, a lot of ways now. In that video description, a lot of the places that I'm affiliate to, you can check it out. You can also sign up to be a Daft Previews member to show your support to me. Gives me a couple extra dollars in my pocket every month. Why not? Now, if you want to see more of my content, you can click on this video here. If not, you just wait for tomorrow and I'll be posting up some more shit. But you guys be good out there. Let's get me out of these streets. Get me out of the hood, my boy. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to your line from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.